This is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide, and I'm here to bring you this week's report of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce where we received and processed their notice between January 15th and January 21st. Now, if you're new to me, before I ask you to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, you're probably wondering, what does layoff information have to do with mortgage and real estate? I'm glad you were wondering. I'm glad you asked, because guess what? Your girl has an answer. So it was many, many years ago. I was super excited. I was getting ready to purchase a piece of property. Woohoo! The seller was getting ready to get the proceeds from the sale of their property. Woohoo! I had signed loan documents. I go back to work hours later and I find out that myself and 399 other people were getting laid off that day. Boo. No, it was more than just a boo. Okay. You can only imagine what was going on in my head. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a job. I can't buy this property. How I'm going to make the payment each month. So I get on the phone. I contact my mortgage broker at the time. I contact my real estate broker at the time. I was like, look, I don't have a job. This loan can't fund. Whew. And then I had to take a deep breath. So thankfully, I was able to unravel that transaction, right? I was able to get out of it because normally a lender, just before the funder funds the loan, means wire the proceeds to the escrow company. They call and verify if you have a job. So I put them on notice. I don't have one. So, they would not fund the loan as a result. So thankfully, I was able to pull out the transaction. But guess what? I didn't get my money back. I didn't get my deposit back. I didn't get the money that I paid for inspections and, appraisal inspection, home inspection, pest inspection. Like, I didn't get that back. So there's main reasons why I share this information. One, what would you do differently if there was a possibility that you might get laid off? Would you not go on that shopping spree? Would you not buy that new house, a new car? Would you not go on that lavish vacation? Would you dust off your resume and update it and put some fillers out there before everybody else at the company starts looking for a job? Would you open up that new business? Would you write that book that you've always been putting off? What would you do differently if there was a possibility that you might get laid off? So that's the one reason why I share the information. The second reason is I want you to know you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job or you're facing a financial hardship. I've literally been helping clients for years and years and years lower their mortgage payment, make it more affordable so they don't have to exhaust all their savings trying to make their mortgage payment each month. So before we get started, I do want to share with you one of the modifications I was able to get for one of my clients. These modifications, I'm still doing them as we speak. And so this modification, this homeowner had America Servicing Company, and their mortgage, let me highlight it here. Their previous mortgage, it was a principal and interest only payment, okay? Principal and interest. So it didn't include their taxes. It didn't include their insurance. They still had to pay that, excuse me, when that bill came around due. That mortgage payment was $3,768.05. They called me because they needed some help. I was able to come in, help them lower their mortgage payment and have it include principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So they didn't have to worry about their tax bill coming due. They didn't have to worry about their insurance, property insurance bill come through. I actually lowered their mortgage payment, got it to include principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. The mortgage payment went from $3,768.05 to $3,220.19. So listen, that is what we are doing over here. I am helping people avoid foreclosure. There's many options available. If you've had a decrease in income, again, whether it's due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, layoff, or natural disaster, it does not matter. You can get help. You can get help, but it's not automatic. You got to pick up the phone and dial 714-914-7254. Again, that's 714-914-7254. Okay. I'm here to help. Now, I'm going to give you this week's list again of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce. I'm gonna give you this list in alphabetical order. If I get to a company and you're like, okay, my company starts with K and I'm already at S, then you may want to check some previous videos that I recorded, because maybe I already covered your company. Maybe we already got that information, right? So you want to make sure you're watching these videos, because I try to give you this information as quickly as I can. The second thing is, so I'm going to give you the companies in alphabetical order. I'm going to give you the date they're laying off. I'm going to let you know if that layoff is temporary, if it's permanent, if the company is actually closing. I'm going to let you know how many people are going to be affected. And guess what? I'm going to give you the location. I'm going to give you the location, right? So let's get started. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to get started here. March 19th. Albertsons Companies is closing permanently. They're laying off 75 people at 1260 East Ontario Avenue in Corona. We have March 8th. Let's see, why is this not? Okay, here we go. March 8th, Amy's Drive-Thru is closing permanently. They're laying off 55 people at 58 Golf Course Drive West in Ronald Park. Hold on, this is really getting on my nerves the way it's showing up here. Okay, here we go. March 17th, Best Buy is closing permanently. They're laying off 46 people at 11160 Rancho Carmel Drive in San Diego. March 17th, Best Buy is closing permanently. They are laying off 60 people at 3090 Stevens Creek Boulevard in San Jose. March 20th, DHL Supply Chain is laying off permanently 74 people at 1201 Voyager Street in Livermore. March 20th, GCOM Software, also known as Voyatech, is laying off permanently 8 people at 3100 Zinfandel Suite 250 in Rancho Cordova. March 16th, James Hardy Fontana Manufacturing is closing permanently, laying off 94 people at 10901 Elm Avenue in Fontana. March 16th, Lakeshore Learning Materials is laying off permanently 163 people at 2695 East Dominguez Street in Carson. March 6th, McGee Air Services is closing permanently, laying off 32 people at 1 Airport Drive in Oakland. March 20th, Meta Platforms is laying off permanently 53 people at 12105 East Waterfront Drive in Playa Vista. March 20th, Meta Platforms is laying off permanently 219 people at 311 Airport Boulevard in Burlingame. March 31st, Pioneer Custom Electrical Products is closing permanently, laying off 47 people at 10640 Springdale Avenue in Santa Fe Springs. March 17th, Primo Brands, Inc. is laying off permanently 19 people at 11811 Highway 67 in Lakeside. April 21st, Resonetics is closing permanently, laying off 61 people at 405 Campbell Avenue in Menlo Park. March 31st, R.R. Donnelly is closing permanently, laying off 70 people at 6955 Maury Avenue in Newark. April 30th, Sealed Air Corporation is closing permanently, laying off 51 people at 19440 Arnett Avenue in the City of Industry. March 19th, the Bonds Companies, is closing permanently, laying off 70 people at 552 North Orange Street in Redlands. March 16th, UKG Inc. is closing permanently, laying off 209 people at 5 Hutton Center, Suite 1100 in Santa Ana. Last but not least, March 15th, Valero Refining Company is laying off permanently 237 people at 3400 East 2nd Street in Benicia. Ever heard of that city in California? So that's the end of this week's list of California companies that will be laying off a significant amount of workforce where we received and processed their notice between January 15th and January 21st. 2026. Now, remember, if you've experienced a loss of income due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, layoff, or natural disaster, I want you to pick up the phone and dial 714-914-7254. You don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job or you're facing a financial hardship. I've literally been helping clients for years to lower their mortgage payment, make it more affordable so they don't have to exhaust all their savings trying to make their mortgage payment each month. For all your mortgage and real estate needs, I want you to visit me at modifymenow.com, or better yet, pick up that phone and dial again 714-914-7254. I'm Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide. I look forward to working with you and for you. And until then, have a blessed day.